Because I got my ways. I ain't gonna talk about it that Ron gets on me because I'm stubborn too. I got a lot of pride. And I hate asking people to do shit.
As a man supposed to.
And then most of these people here, I'm not bragging. Ron said, if you ask them, they're not gonna tell you no, Gary, because you're a nice guy. And they don't tell me no. But I just get stubborn with other things. So you and him in this movie, he's doing this thing, you're doing thing. But like you said, if a check come along, let's get it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So you didn't produce that much, but you did. I see you started, but then you stopped. Is there something that happened?
No. Well, I wrote everything.
No, I mean, as a producer, I'm trying to get you like, as a writing, I know that already. As a producer hitting the machine, you started, but then you kind of fell back. You didn't think you were good at it, or it wasn't going your way.
Honestly, you know what? I think I got a little disillusioned with the second album. Like on the second album, I probably did maybe about half of the production. You know what I'm saying? And it's bugged because at this point, there's a lot of shit that was going on above our head, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, you live, you learn, and I think everything about us was sincere, even some of the fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, who doesn't stumble at some point? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, our second album, like, if we listen to it today, like, cats to be like, yo, I like this joint, I like this joint, I like this joint, and over
First
time.
album was great, though.
Huh?
I love your first album.
Oh, cool, thanks.
Oh my God.
But just say the joints that a cat might say that he liked off the second one, they'd be like the joints that I produced. And, you know, like, nobody knows which ones is which, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like, I guess getting that over time, which I get a lot, that, you know what I'm saying, that's cool, that I did something that better than I thought I was doing. After the second album didn't have really the big success that the first one did, I was like, let me concentrate more on my writing.
Okay, everybody's, like, that's what Kanye is special. He's a hell of a rapper, and he can produce his ass off. People have their niche, you know what I mean? I have my niche.
Without question.
Like, I get picked on a lot because I don't fuck with social media a lot. And I could do better, my crew gets mad at me, but I'm gonna do better. But when it comes to this camera, I shine.
Oh, shit.
It's just a joke to me.
Alright.
It's like, are you serious? I got dressed and I'm like, I know you 30 years. And this is the first time me and you look at each other. So this is what I do.
Right.
So now, maybe let's see my question. Try to look. It ain't happening.
No, I was trying.
Let's make sure.
Right.
No, he tried, Ron. I learned my lesson, Ron. Yeah. Bill Frank, he tried like, I learned. I got big on one of them. I did all this. They got me good. And my camera, KG, he was like this every time. He said, hey, look at him like this.
Gary, DRES'S first album, classic.
You know what? In a backpacker level, majorly classic. Him, Tribe Called Quest. You know what I like a lot? They don't talk about he's an actor. But I'm not big on his first album. You gotta tell me. Did Mos Def have a great album?
Mos Def?
His first album? I don't remember. How many albums he had? I really don't remember that one. So I'm actually. It's a classic, the first one?
The first album was.
He's a great actor though.
No, the first album was with him and Talib.
That's
It was called Black Star.
Is that a classic, right?
Yeah, the first album
But
had
it's
it.
Can you kill that shit, man?
Yeah.
Yo, that shit is straight.
See, I'm not gonna lie, but I know more.
Both of them.
Okay, both of them.
Yeah.
You know, people don't talk about Brick Star and me, Ron. We talk about we love battling. One of the best rap duo groups of all time, and we don't talk about them.
Who?
OUTKAST. They killed.
Anybody fuck with you?
And they killed. EPMD, Mob D,
the best
OUTKAST.
It's almost like in the black community being called a nigga amongst your own.
Yeah.
To say that when we, you know, like, we was New York was very egotistical and very, like,
creative.
But blindsided as far as if it wasn't New York, niggas was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was the Mecca. And our attitude was that, period. And, you know, like, so OUTKAST coming into the game is almost like, you know, Cass was like, you know, like, but what are they saying? Like, how a motherfucker might from somewhere else might be listening to us. Like, what are they saying? You know what I'm saying? To say that, you know, like, New York was real kind of funny, and we kind of gave them the seed to bloom their own
Inspiration.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like because like New York wound up having to eat a little bit of crow to say that you know, like, there came a time where like motherfuckers was definitely like it's everywhere but New York. And right now in New York, we looking at motherfuckers that don't look like New York. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, like, what's going on? You know, like, you know, for real, like, you know, like, who are we? What are we doing right now? And, you know, how do we move forward? We now moving forward by some of the shit that we doing. what I'm saying? If it's not LA, it's Chirac. If it's not Chirac, it's New Orleans. Like New York is a lot of things right now, but New York.
No, and you're so funny about OutKast. Andre 3000 is so cocky and so different. He quit on top of the game. I wanna be an actor. You know that, right? So he could have kept rapping, Pat. They sold records, and he just stopped rapping. That bugged me out. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. We forget about him. I listen. And Ron's a lyricist. Pat Brickstar, Andre 3000 was saying some shit.
Yeah, he's dope.
He talked about how turned out Erykah Badu had. yeah, he dope. So I love him. But so moving forward, like.
Shouts to Big Boy too.
Yeah,
Big Boy's a monster. Man, I'm sorry, Big Boy, monster.
Like I was saying, a big salute to them and the Dungeon family. Just to say, like you know, like they had to endure more than just critic shit. Right. Like, you know, like niggas really is looking at them on, so you from where? And this is my word. Like, yo, I'm gonna tell you a crazy story because and I should have knew better. Like I didn't do better in that situation, but I'm just keep this. Like the way I'm looking at them, like, you know, like we all looking at it, like y'all from where? The same shit happened to me when I first finished high school. I come back to New York. My pops is from the Glam, big heroin dealer. I'm telling him I'm trying to get into this music shit. He's like, yo, go find this kid, this that, and the other. He's into this music shit. He gonna help you. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm trying to find Large Proffesor. Right? Now, when I finally bump into him, I don't got no record. This is before I even cool with the native niggas and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't, you know, this on some straight, you know, I'm from the Bland, you know what I'm saying? Like, my pops told me to find. My pops knows pops type shit.
What's the Bland?
The Bland Projects.
What's that, Queens?
Yeah.
It's called Bland?
The Bland Projects.
It's literally called the Bland Projects.
BLAND.
That's Flushing. That's in Flushing.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So, I find him finally. And the same way that we look at how we look at OUTKAST, my conversation made him look at me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm from the Bland Projects. You know, my family's from the Bland Projects. I grew up a storm between the two. I hustled in the Bland Projects. Never saw you a day.
My professor's from Flushing?
Huh?
Elisha Proffesor,
Right.
excuse me. He's from Flushing?
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Walking distance from the Bland.
Gotcha.
Right. To say that, you know, but, and he doesn't really understand, like, you know, I'm saying all of this shit down south, or come from down south, and this and the other. Maybe I'm wording it wrong, you know, this and the other. But once he heard down south, that's all he heard. So, you know, no biggie, he didn't want to really, you know, kind of gave me a shoulder. So I go back to my pops, like, you know, I had no point of reference. I ain't had nothing for him to hear, nothing, this and the other. I go back to my pops, I'm like, yo, I don't think it's gonna happen from this vantage point. And, you know, like, he ain't trying to hear it, this and the other. He kind of treated me a little sideways one time. He heard, you know, I'm coming down south. And he's like, you know, he said he had some choice words, like, you know, his father's kind of funny like that too, type shit. But just to say, laughed it off. He was just trying to help me get, you know, like, not look at it too seriously. So, I want to meet the natives on the Sunday, and everything come out. Yo, when Faking the Funk came out, I went and got the record, I'm playing it. When it gets to 250, I'm like, wait a minute, I'll go back and pull it back. I'll play it again. Nigga, my voice is sampled under this. Now listen. At 250, I'm like, this nigga, is this nigga? Yo, this is my word. I'm like, yo, did this nigga
take much?
Yo, like, and this is a shot. Like, is this nigga taking a shot at you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, like I'm hearing this shit 250, you know what I'm saying, in the record, as it's fading out. So now I'm disgusted because I'm like, this nigga insinuating, like niggas, nobody knows, streets don't know, ain't nobody talking about this, everybody, I know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit, this nigga just played himself. Right? So I'm like, yo.
With the Smack Blood album?
That was amongst the
I'm asking, what, did you want to smack blood out of him? And he was like, nah, they weren't.
Let me tell you what happened. Alright?
Let
me get there. Let me get there. I'm trying to get there.
I'm sorry. You know,
centerpiece was on this shit.
My man, Jeremy, I'm feeling good today. Life is good right now. Yeah, I'm feeling real good. And everybody fresh today. Everybody fresh. Good luck.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everybody fresh. Let's get it.
So just to say,
I like those, Pat. You might want to get those. I told you.
But
You killed that a little bit. Bum ass humor you've been wearing, but 7 months straight. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
No. Yo, so now I'm disgusted because I'm looking at it like such. Like, yo, nigga, I hustled, got knocked, done went away, came back to where you live walking distance from, and I've never seen you ever in the street. What the fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, aside from music, like, faking what? Like, nigga, I would slap the shit out you.
Yeah, talk
You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? This is where we at with it. So, I ain't bumped into him at all, and, you know, eventually I do, and when I do, it's on 145th and 8th. Like 2, 3 in the morning. Willie Burgers is popping, you know what I'm saying? Everything is everything, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, and we happen to be at a red light. I turn to my left, he's in the car, I'm in the car with my man Molecules. This is my word. I pulled in front of, while we had the light, I pulled my car in front of him and blew him off. Put my car on pause.
Large?
Cut him off.
On large, so
145th and 8th.
Yeah.
Cut him off. You know what I'm saying? Get out my car, in front of everybody. Get out my car, walk around to his window. I'm like, yo, my dude, did you sample my voice in Faking the Funk? Nigga, eyes big as saucers.
He didn't know what to say.
He turns to me, I think, you know, he said who he is, to say that at that moment. He turned to me, he's like, no. And so I'm like, yo, you mean to tell, oh, excuse me, what up, Akano? Like, yo, you mean to tell me, I said, yo, you mean to tell me,
Pause. Put it in your mouth. Big break.
I said,
Make it.
you mean to tell me that you didn't sample me at the end of Faking the Funk? He's like, nah. I let him. Then you ain't nobody. And I got back in my car. Let it go. But I had an attitude with him for a lot of years, you know what I'm saying? Like, and eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like I would act like a dick. Like I would just act like a dick anytime around him because I ain't respect what he did. But at the end of the day, it was like, you know, like if you ain't man enough to stand by you, like I ain't even gonna go to the level.
Yeah,
right. You ain't throwing up.
I'd have been like, I sampled it. I might have made a mistake, but yes, I sampled it.
And just my word, like, had he, like, part of me was supposed to just, you know, drag him out of the fucking window. Like, that's where my head was at.
I feel like
you know what I'm saying? Seriously. But, you know, honestly, thank God. But just say at the end of the day, I carried for years, like, fuck that nigga. And he's from where I'm from, this, that, and the other. Now, let me bring this full circle. Now, for years, I was like, I wouldn't even give him a real pound, like, around this nigga. Like, he always was lucky that I just ain't really kind of speak on it, nothing, but because I felt like if I spoke on it, niggas ain't know. So if I ever spoke on it, I speak on it, niggas to this day didn't know.
I tried to get him high. He gave me his number. He gave me my number. Asked him to come to my show. No, just you, law professor. I said, hey, brother, my show's up and coming. Let's get it. He must have blocked me. Go straight to voicemail. Like, I'm just being real. And I still want you on my show, brother. Come in and see the vibe, smoke weed, talk shit.
Yeah, no, let me bring this full circle.
Kill that shit. I'm just throwing my shit. That's my little pump into understanding to come in.
Let me bring this full
Excuse me,
circle.
I'm marketing a little bit. That's all.
Yo, I'm gonna help you. Come tell you a nice story.
Go ahead.
What? So, to say, like, yo, ultimately, I carried this shit with me for years. Like, fuck this nigga. And when I went down south and came back, you know what I'm saying? I bumped into the nigga, and I ain't wanna be mad at him no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you know, like, fuck am I mad at this nigga for? Like, you know, some record shit that, I said, that there was no blowback. I said, I don't dig the fact that I do know, nigga, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that you ain't gonna stand by it, but why am I mad at this nigga? You know what I'm saying? And I woke up on him in the DJ booth, and I let him know, like, yo, I ain't mad at you, man, this, that, and the other. And I always respected you. I said, matter of fact, you know, my pops had to send me to check.
You get in a war mode, think you slick. Let me join them.
You know what I'm saying? And let him know, like, you know, like, yo, my dude, like, I ain't trying to be, you know, heavy-handed around you and shit like that. You know, I was like, yo, like, whatever we did as kids, we was kids. I was like, yo, like, at this point, like, yo, everything is cool. We wound up exchanging numbers. At the next time I seen him, chopping it up to the degree that eventually I go by his crib. You know what I'm saying? Word up, he's playing beats for me. Like, we brought it full circle. Beat this shit. I'm in his crib. He's playing beats for me his pop had just passed, you know what I'm saying? And he goes in the back and he brings a picture and he sits me down and he's like, yo, you know who this is with my pop? This was his best friend. And I look at it and I'm like, yo, yeah, that's my Uncle Raymond. Wow.
So it's all
That's
good.
how close we were.
Oh, so that means our professor coming on my show then.
Oh, sure, definitely. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? But this is saying, like, you know, like, that's how close we were, like, as kids.
Right.
Literally. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how close we were. His pop's best friend was my uncle. My Uncle Raymond, my father's brother.
Hello, producer.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just to say, like, you know, like, so now me and him have a relationship that, you know, like, I'm working on some stuff now. I'm sure he's doing some stuff right now as well. But once we kind of get a second, we really gonna, you know, come full circle and put some shit together. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Ron, Rock Professor, big producer?
Oh, come on. You guys come crazy.
What?
This nigga shows I know he's a monster.
Large P?
With the big with Big Star, monster.
Let me tell you something. He's the most humblest dude ever.
He like Premier. Primo's like that. Great guy.
No, he's not like Premier. He's more humble.
Primo
You won't even know. You won't even know he's in the room. That's how large.
Well,
P
you know
is.
Primo don't talk a lot of shit, but like Ron.
Now, you know him, we be popping. You know he cool.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
drink with him and all that. But large P's humble.
Okay.
Yeah,
Off the
good.
rip.